wanted to share with you what I'm going through building my digital course to learn how to run a leak business. And I wanted to bring you in the spare bedroom. This is going to be where I'm going to do all the filming. It's going to be the new studio. So I want to show you the setup. I'm going to need help doing this. This is the first time I've ever set things up and did something like this. And it's pretty hard journey and a very long process, which I didn't think. I thought it would only take like 4 weeks, and it's months of planning, organizing. So I just want to take you around. So I learned that you need to have lighting. So these are my sons because he used to do some filming when he was in high school, and these have been stashed away in a closet. So I got the lights. Don't know much about lighting. Don't know much about anything. Tripods, he had some extra tripods. I bought some new tripods. And then watching videos, I learned that you need a teleprompter. So I went and I bought a teleprompter. Don't know how to use it, but I'm going to figure it out. And then we had an old camera from about 10, 12 years ago, just sitting in the closet. We didn't even use it. So we set that up. I bought a nice tripod for that. And if you could see, oh look, there's Stormy. Stormy, say hello. She's going to be the mascot. As you can see that I don't have a lot of room in here because this is, like I said, the spare bedroom was my son's until he went away to college. I didn't want to spend money on a desk that I'm not going to need in here because this is the spare bedroom for the grandkids too. So I had this old folding table. It's about 25 years old. So that's going to be my main desk. And then spin around. I think that's the TV on the wall. It's really ugly, but it was my kids' room. I may use that as an extra monitor. Not sure yet. So old camera equipment, wires. I cannot believe the amount of wires to set up. Incredible. Then I had this idea that I was going to do like a real teaching studio, and I was going to have a whiteboard, but look at the glare. It's horrible. And I have a camera problem. If my camera's there, well, in the middle of teaching, how do I get to over here? Because I don't have a staff. It's just me. So that's not going to work. And then I have a table here that's going to be where the demonstrations are, the skimmers, drains, so you guys can see those. And the hardest thing about making a digital course, and I also have a printed workbook, is all of the stuff I had to learn. Now, I knew nothing about programs, about computer stuff, nothing at all. All I know is leak detection. That's it. The electronic equipment I have, that's all. I have to learn in the last couple of months how to set up a website on Squarespace. ManyChat. I'm reading off a sheet because there's so many things, and I don't even have the whole list on the sheet. ManyChats, Zapier, Go High Level, all the AI stuff, which I don't know about computers. StanStore, CapCut, Canva. I have to learn how to use all of these things and integrate it, and I'm missing more stuff. There's more. Then I had to know about cameras. My daughter knows how to use the camera. I don't know how to use the camera. She would turn it on for me, and I would take pictures. And that was a long time ago when she was a little kid. I don't know how to use it. What else I got here? All the wires, which I already went over. There's so many different kinds of wires to hook all this stuff up. I have her hook it up for me because I can't figure it out. Integrating all of this stuff together to make this course is mind-boggling. Like, this is all I think of all day while I'm working, and I have to squeeze in making the course while I'm working. It's not that easy. It's not that easy at all. What else do I have here? Integrating all of these systems together, putting all of it and making it work. And I didn't even mention Riverside FM, because Riverside is what I'm going to use when I do my beta test and when I do my recording. Because I want to, on the beta test, I want to have about 8 people to run through the course and to make the course better. So what I plan on doing is having the core 8 people, which I'm going to have to interview because they're going to have to be pretty special. And they're going to work with me at an extreme discount on the course. They're going to get just the really good stuff and then all the extra stuff, because a lot of them already have businesses, so they don't need all of the business stuff. Um, so that's going to be offered at a very low price, and it's only 8 people. We're going through some of the people that are already interested, and we'll see what else. I don't know if you hear in here, I have a really bad echo. So I have to do something in here to get rid of the echo. So I'm gonna have to spend more money to try to put some sounding deadening in here. What else? The glare. We already talked about the glare, setting up the lights. I don't have room for all these lights. I painted this back wall because it was disgusting. And what you really don't see is, remember, this was my teenage kid's room. Um, it needs to be totally redone. But when he went to college, we used it as a storage area and for the grandkids to watch TV. What else? Camera positioning. Uh, Let me tell you, I rearranged this room about 20 times, and this is going to be the best. I'm going to get it. Now, coming up the lesson plans. If you, so I used to teach at a college, but the lesson plans are already made for me. I didn't have to make them. And it was stuff that was teach for tens of years. So I just had to learn how to teach that. Well, here I have to develop the lesson plans, the organization, the flow. Um, what I thought in my head was so easy is not easy at all. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff written on there. I was looking at it. What else? All right, so I talked about integrating all this stuff, and then I just realized, well, wait a second. I just learned that you can't use speakers because the speakers may echo into the mic. So now I have to get rid of the speakers that I bought, and I'm going to have to use a headset. Well, the recommendation is that you have a wired headset, but I can't have a wired headset because I may walk around and do some stuff. So now I have to figure out to do the wireless. Now I have to buy wireless headsets, and I don't have the earbuds because I just never had those. Don't have them. And what else? Marketing. So in my business, well, it's kind of similar when you're marketing in business, but my business is local, so I do local marketing. Now, when you start doing broader marketing, because this course is actually not just um, marketed in the United States, it's South America, North America, and Europe. And I have a lot of people in India and that whole area that watch my stuff, that comment, that call me, that send me emails. My market's pretty big. So um, that advertising is totally different. And then the social media presence. So on top of running the business and putting together a digital course, learning all of these, and like I said, what I mentioned on all the stuff I have to learn, that's a small list I just thought of when I put the camera on the holder. I just jotted that down. But there's a lot more that I had to learn. And like I said, I don't know anything about computers. I don't. I'm not a computer person. Um, and then now I'm doing speaking engagements, getting ready for that. Well, at the speaking engagements, you don't teach your course. You're supposed to advertise your course. And I don't know, this camera's shaking. Let me fix this so the camera's not shaking anymore. Yeah, here we go. No more camera shaking. So now I'm doing live events, talking about the course, getting people ready for the course. And um, that's a whole separate thing in itself. So I had to get a projector. I have to get a little mini speaker. Here it is. So when I used to teach, I had to bring my own projector because they didn't always have one available. And trying to hunt down a projector when you're starting class was a big problem, so I just went and bought my own. It's an antique. It's a dinosaur. Hey, you see that? Well, still works. Still works. I'm going to use that. Save money on that for my presentations, and then I have speaker. So there's a lot of these places they don't have anything. They don't even have a screen, and that I didn't even buy yet. What I've been doing is just projecting on a wall, um, and then coming up with the script and the stuff for that. Um, and I went over all the social media stuff. So you have to start putting out social media content. And then what content do I put out? So if I put out educational content, and not many people want to watch it. If you put out something with a little goofy or a little story, then people start watching it. But I don't have time to do long content. So I only can do the short content, which is going to be about 60 seconds, a minute and a half. Well, when you don't know how to edit, a minute and a half takes an hour and a half. And that's once you kind of know what to do, and then put it in there, and then go through your comments and go through all the comments where they just rip you apart and say you're dumb. That's just part of the game. And then a lot of good comments. I learned a lot of stuff in the comments. And then we're doing the TikTok lives and the Instagram lives. Soon we're going to be doing the YouTube lives. Um, that all takes time. But the learning process from doing social media and from doing the live talks when we go do stuff at the job site, the things that I learned from people around the United States, mostly because those are the ones that are commenting, um, I learned stuff that I thought I was an expert, and I realized that I'm not an expert, which is good, keeps you humble. And I'm learning other things that they do in different places and different ways of doing stuff and shortcuts and just different methods, which is going to make this course even better because they're feeding me information and sharing stuff with me, and I'm going to put that in the course. So that's the journey. My son's bedroom, now the spare bedroom, all of the stuff that I'm putting together. I'm going to try not to edit this video at all. I'm just going to put it out raw the way it is to save time. It is Sunday, West Palm Beach, Florida. We just had the cold front. We are not used to the cold front at all. I have to rearrange the whole schedule for the week because working in the cold takes longer, and we have a jam-packed schedule, and so I'm going to have to spread it out. It's going to make a couple of people a little upset because they want their pools fixed. And I am going to, actually, distractions. Every time I sit down to do something, something comes up, phone rings, got to take care of a problem, got to do something around the house, something I forgot. And today, one of my best friends, he now has a leak in his house. So I'm going to go over there, find the leak, diagnose the leak for him so he can bring a plumber in to fix it. So has to stop what I'm doing here, working, get this set up, which means I lost probably this whole weekend because yesterday was just putting this stuff in the room. And I know you look at it and you say, hey, this is not going to take very long, but yeah, setting it up, measuring, moving, the siding, painting the back wall, because that's the wall we chose to go off. And then if you look, I have a glare. I was supposed to use flat paint. So Sandra's like, use the spare paint we have in the garage. And now I have a glare, but I'm gonna have to live with that. That's just the way it's going to be. And that's it. That's the journey. I'm gonna go put you guys through what I'm going through because there's some of you out there that want to put together something that you know, or you want to teach something you know, and when you start doing it, you're going to be like, there's so much you need to learn, so much you got to put together. So if I can just help that one person get off the couch and finally do it, I think this really horrible video that I just made with no editing and the shaking camera is worth it. So please join me, give me suggestions. Try not to criticize too much, although I have pretty thick skin. Offer suggestions, and if you ever did this or have experience, just let me know. All right, I went really long. Thank you very much. If you stuck through it, you're a soldier. I will see you on the next one.